A thread by Brian Cates, published September 3rd, 2020 on Twitter. Here's something a lot of people don't know. Police officers get training on how to restrain a suspect who is suffering from excited delirium, which is a polite way of saying a massive amount of drugs in their system and they're having a heart or lung issues. You can easily find source material on the internet about excited delirium and how police officers are trained to deal with a subject who is suffering from the condition. One example, Lexapol.com, Understanding Excited Delirium. 4 takeaways for law enforcement officers. When an officer encounters an individual who appears to be in a state of excited delirium, they are taught to recognize that this person's extremely agitated state is severely stressing their heart and lungs. Officers are taught that standard compliance and de-escalation techniques and tactics won't work on a delirious individual because they're not in a state of mind where verbal commands will work. For this reason, officers are trained to restrain the subject with the least amount of force until paramedics can arrive and sedate the person. I want to focus on the underlined sentence here because it's important. When subjects don't respond to stimuli, officers should concentrate on restraint without using large muscle groups, which minimizes the buildup of lactic acid, decreasing the risk of potential cardiac arrest. Restraint without using large muscle groups. There are police departments around the country that train their officers to restrain a person in the case of excited delirium, where they won't stay still or stop trying to get up by kneeling on their neck. Let me explain why officers are trained to do this. Kneeling on the neck or upper shoulder is a single pressure point hold that keeps the delirious person pinned to the ground so that they can't get up or keep moving their upper body. It also restricts the person's breathing, and the theory is that this will calm them down. Since it's a single pressure point hold, it does not involve major muscle groups, and the theory is this hold will force a person with stressed out heart and lungs to slow their breathing down. That's the theory. One of the biggest problems police face in taking a large suspect high on drugs who has often overdosed and is having heart and lung issues into custody is getting them to calm down, so the stress and acidosis on their heart and lungs will reduce. The biggest mistake people make on this issue is assuming while trying to get the person to calm down while they take them into custody, the police are actually trying to induce hysteria, delirium, and acidosis by restraining the person. This is misunderstanding what you see. As hard as it is for people to grasp this, it's true. By kneeling on Floyd's neck, as he was trained to do, Officer Derek Chauvin was attempting to get Floyd to calm down and slow his own rate of breathing to reduce the stress on his heart and lungs. What really needs to be investigated and debated here is, should officers be trained to do this? Because they are. I just want you to be aware of that and why they are trained to do these one-point restraint techniques on delirious subjects. And it must be remembered, Floyd had a very enlarged and diseased heart, and he had 3 times the legal limit of the deadly opioid fentanyl in his system before he ever came into contact with Officer Chauvin and his team that day. I'm not aware of any cases where somebody took that amount of fentanyl in their body and survived it. I believe, in the end, the fact that Floyd was already very likely suffering a cardiac episode and had ingested a fatal amount of fentanyl will lead to the officers being found not guilty. Coupled with the fact that the Minneapolis police officers were following their training on how to safely restrain a person suffering from excited delirium. There is some debate as to whether Chauvin should have kept that hold in place for that amount of time. But he was trained to use that knee hold, and that fact will come out at trial.